Okay, Judy and Felice, it is 6:30. Do we want to start now or do we want to wait a few more minutes?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think we can start now.
yeah. You want to do your thing, Kevin?
Okay. Okay, so welcome everyone. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you will notice that you are currently muted and everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except for the committee co-chairs, Judy and Felice, and any presenters as we move through the agenda. As we move through the agenda, the co-chairs will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by going to your reactions icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not to wait for thumbs up as those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you are calling in on the phone, it is *9 to raise hand and *6 to unmute. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs call on you. The chat is available for technical support only to help with Zoom software problems, not to ask questions of the co-chairs. They will not see the chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you'll need to go to the participant section where you will find the raise hand feature there. Please do not raise your actual hand. We'll wait for the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me, I'm here for support. Thank you.
And I'll add one other thing that was brought to my attention by another community board, Kevin. If you're particularly if you're a board member, if you're leaving the meeting for any reason, put up your coffee cup, because if we're taking a vote and then you're not here, we don't know that whether you're still with us or you've left the meeting permanently.
Yeah, definitely. And you can access the coffee. You can put up your coffee cup by going to reactions icon in the lower right-hand corner, and it will be there. Thanks, Judy, for reminding us.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Judy Schneider, co-chair, and my other co-chair is
Felice Farber.
welcome everybody. I just want to give you an update. Our chair of the board had asked the committees if they could cut back on their meetings. So Felice and I have decided that if we meet twice a quarter, that should be sufficient. So we did not meet in February. We will not meet in May or August or December. So that will give us 4 meetings during the year that we will not be holding this year. Of course, if anything of great importance comes up from either Parks or Central Park where they need a vote on us, from us, and it's a month we're not meeting, then Kevin will find us a meeting date to have that meeting and everybody will be notified. Okay, let's get on with our first item, which is Hospital for Special Surgery. I want to welcome Michael Rawlings and Melise Kiefer, and I saw Risa Kaufman was with us as well. So why don't you folks go ahead and give us an update where you are.
Thank you very much, Judy. I'm not able to share my screen. It says host disabled participant screening.
I'll turn that on right now.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As Judy mentioned, Michael Rawlings from HSS is here, as well as Risa Kaufman. We are excited to give you an update on both our Kellen Tower project and I think more important to the scope of this committee, the Esplanade and where we are. I believe we also have a few folks from Parks. Michael Bradley has joined us in case questions come up at the end. Bring up the presentation. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Great. All right, so tonight we're going to cover just a reminder of what the Kellen Tower project site looks like, current updates of where we are with that, as well as the project schedule on the building, and where you can, a reminder of where you can have some more information on both Kellen Tower and the Esplanade improvements. And then we'll get to the Esplanade improvements. Here on the screen, you can see the structure of Kellen Tower has been completed. We topped out steel at the end of February and are very excited to start the curtain wall. As a reminder, for those who may not be familiar, HSS has 3 main campus buildings. We have our main hospital building down here, our ambulatory pavilion building, and our Bel Air building. The Kellen Tower is the fourth in that collection. It's a 12-floor, 94,000 square foot building. It's allowing us to modernize our main campus, increasing our number of private rooms, and decompressing some of the spaces within the main hospital building. It also enables us to use the hospital for more complex perioperative care. Up in the right-hand corner, you can see the renovation that we did previously of the Esplanade between 70th and 72nd. And then again, another photo of the construction progress from the 72nd Street overlook. So right now, again, as I mentioned, we topped out the steel in February, and we have poured concrete on all of our floors up through the 8th floor. We have 144 crates of curtain wall that will get us to the 11th floor of the building, and they're in a storage facility in New Jersey. You can see a photo of them in their crates there. And the first portion of these crates have been delivered to the site that we can start installing from the 2nd floor and go up. This will start late this month, so within the next couple of weeks, and you'll start to see the building look like a building. The Esplanade project, and we'll get into this more later on, is being bid out to construction managers with an award targeted this spring. We are a little bit behind in that, but we did start the bidding process much earlier than we needed to still meet the delivery dates that we've previously discussed with this committee. In terms of Kellen Tower's schedule, we have reached those 2 milestones I mentioned of erecting the tower crane and topping out the steel. We will begin closing out the curtain wall later this month and have the building fully enclosed by midsummer. At that point, when the building is enclosed, we will have the Esplanade back from our contractors that are building the Kellen Tower, and we'll be able to start construction work and restoration of the 70th to 72nd Street Esplanade portion. This building will also open in at the end of 2025, or be fully completed at the end of 2025 and open shortly thereafter. As a reminder, we do have a public website that is available for all things Kellen Tower as well as the Esplanade. And we are publishing a 2-week look ahead for Kellen Tower. We will likely start doing so when we start the Esplanade work so that everyone can know what to expect. And we are also providing our neighbors, our most close neighbors, residential properties updates specifically to them as well. You can subscribe to all of those. So to switch to the Esplanade, as a reminder, HSS previously improved between 70th and 72nd. We will be restoring that section as part of the Kellen Tower project once we finish building the building itself. And then we'll continue those improvements from 72nd to 78th Street, which is highlighted on the right-hand side here. Quinnell Rothschild and Partners was our landscape architect for this project, working with HSS and really making sure that New York City park standards are and guidelines are being met for the design. And at the community's request, as a reminder, we're able to accommodate the outdoor fitness area at 75th Street, just north of the Con Edison building, which we're incredibly excited to be able to give to the community. We have some fresh renderings of what it will look like that we wanted to share with the committee today. The first view you will see is looking north looking south from about 76th Street. You can see that we will be doing renovations that are in kind with what we've done between 70th and 72nd. And then the second photo is of the new fitness center area looking north just south or north just north of the Con Edison building. When we last met with the community board, we were hoping to have had a contractor on board by this time. Unfortunately, we only received one bid back and need to go back to a few different companies and drum up some more interest to be able to award. So we will have that awarded sometime in Q2, hopefully next month. And the construction will start sometime in the summer. As a reminder, what we've talked to CB8 about before is that we are overlapping this improvement work with the Kellen Tower construction, as well as some of the Parks Department Phase 3 work that starts at 76th and goes north. The overlapping section of our work is between 76th and 78th. And is our intention, as soon as we get a contractor selected on board, to phase out the project so that we can get as much of the Esplanade returned to the public as possible. And as a reminder, we still believe we're comfortable delivering the Esplanade as early as possible in the summer of 2025, hopefully even late spring. So we are being as aggressive as possible to get this park back to the community. And that is our update, and we are happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I have some questions, but let's go. Kevin, can you tell me, because I can't see the raised hands, let's go to the public first. Are there any hands from the public?
I do not see any raised hands yet.
Okay, then I'll start with, I think Melissa and Michael know my question, and Michael Bradley, maybe you'll have an answer. You're talking about late spring, summer on the Esplanade. We have some major sinkholes in the area that Melissa and I have discussed this at length, that you are going to be fixing. Has the Parks Department gotten a contractor, Michael, to fix those sinkholes?
I'll answer that. We are out to bid. Bids are due on the 28th. That date may be extended because there are some contractor questions that need to be answered, but it would only be by a couple of weeks or so. So we should be opening bids by early April. That means that we hope to have a contractor at work in this area sometime in either late summer or early fall. The original scope of what's called Phase 3 of the Esplanade work in this area included 76th to 81st Street, which includes the 76th to 78th Street area that HSS will improve. Since then, we discovered additional sinkholes at 74th Street and 71st Street. Those have been investigated, and the intention is to add those to the contract for the Phase 3 contractor and have all that work done at the same time. As soon as we have a contractor, we'll be able to have a schedule, but what I was told today is that we would likely be able to complete this work in 6 to 8 months from the construction start date. So sometime in, say, late winter, early spring. And we will try to work with HSS so that wherever we work, they can follow after. And if there is an area that they can work on that doesn't need to be disturbed by our work, they can go there first.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm a little confused. What work are you planning to start in the summer or late spring?
We're planning to start in the late summer or early fall.
Oh, late or early fall. What work is that you're going to be doing?
Okay, so on the screen, you see the dotted green line.
Yes. Can you tell me where we are?
Okay, that's 76th to 81st Street. It is one of 3 sections of the Phase 3 Esplanade repair contract, which is out to bid. The other sections are somewhere further north. I apologize. I don't know exactly.
Okay, I would want to stick with HSS, so let's not do with further north at the moment. So this is what we were calling Phase 3. There were 3 parts, and the other, there's one south and the other piece is north of this. This is in the middle. So if you're not starting until early summer or late fall, any of the construction work, which you said, I believe would take 6 to
Late
8
summer or
months.
early fall.
Yeah, would take 6 to 8 months. Melissa, how can you start working on the Esplanade until the phase 3, which is what we call the sinkholes, until that stuff is repaired?
Great question. So as Michael mentioned, Parks and HSS are working in close coordination. Our intention is to do pieces of the Esplanade that we can, so that we can let Parks catch up to us, and we will follow them quickly right after they finish the pieces, because their work isn't in the entirety of the Esplanade. We can still do portions of our work. So we're planning to adopt our project to Parks' schedule to get it done as quickly as possible.
And the other side of that is that the parks contractor will probably not do all of the sinkholes in this section of phase 3 all at the same time. So we'll direct them to work where it makes the most sense, so that HSS can follow on immediately after and complete their work.
Okay.
6 to 8 months for the entirety of the work, which is likely not to all be happening at the same time.
Is the where the exercise equipment is going around 75th Street, is that an area where there is any work that has to be done by this contractor, Michael?
I don't believe there's anything between 74th and 76th Street, no.
Okay, so then
I don't
Melissa,
know where exactly. where
certainly you could start on that piece. And then also 71st to 72nd, is there a sinkhole there?
There is a sinkhole at around 71st Street.
First Street,
Um,
so, okay.
So, when we have a contractor and HSS has a contractor, we will put them in a room and have them work this out together.
Okay. All right. I must tell you that people in the community have been asking, they're very, they want to be able to go up this part of the Esplanade. So people are very eager to have this done. So you feel, Michael, 6 to 8 months. So you feel in spring of 20 or the first quarter of 24-5, you'll be finished with the Esplanade work?
That's what I was told, and it's an estimate that the contractor will give us a schedule.
Okay.
And we will try and get them to prioritize this section of the Esplanade, and then areas of this section that make the most sense for HSS to follow on immediately.
Okay, so now I'll go off topic a little bit. This contractor, will they also be the person to do the little piece between 6-2 and 6-3, and then going north, there's another piece? Will this contractor be doing all the phase 3 work?
Yes, I don't remember what is in.
I'm not asking a
phase 3.
schedule. I just want to know.
No, I
the
understand.
letting the contract.
It's not my contract. It's our capital engineering division. And I just got the schedule for this section. I don't remember, honestly.
Okay.
I think one of the sections is in Astoria, actually. It's not part of the East River Esplanade. And I just don't remember.
Okay,
what
so maybe offline, we can talk about the other pieces as they affect our.
I think as soon as we have a contractor and our capital folks are comfortable sharing a draft schedule and a plan for how the work will be conducted and phased and logistics and things like that, they'll be coming to you.
Okay, great. Does anyone else have any questions?
So I still don't see any hands up from the public, but I just wanted to ask a couple of questions. So the area between around 77th, 78th Street had already been repaired once before. So, what is being done that's different to make sure that in a couple of years, the Parks Department doesn't have to come back and repair it again? Have you identified what the root cause of the, I guess, subsidence was?
I don't know the answers to that question, other than I know that whatever repairs were done were essentially interim patches. They were not part of a structural solution.
Okay,
so-
And I don't, you know, I as I understand it, those repairs were never expected to last very long, which is why
So-
you come back with a permanent fix.
but this is a permanent fix that we're talking about. We're talking about a permanent fix now, right?
Yes, there's work on the actual seawall, for instance, and some of the drainage structures. I don't know the exact scope, but that is the purpose of this contract, is so that we don't have to come back afterwards, and we certainly don't want to have to do that after HSS has put nice park finishes on top.
Right. Ricardo, it's nice to see you again. Did you have something you wanted to add to this?
Ricardo, you're muted.
Yeah, we're not hearing you, Ricardo. You're muted, Ricardo.
He may need to be unmuted.
Yeah, Kevin, can you unmute him?
On my screen, he is unmuted.
Okay.
Okay, Kevin, Ricardo, you want to give it another shot?
Yeah, maybe you can sign off and then sign back in, see if that works. If that doesn't work, you also call in.
Yeah. Ricardo, you want to sign off and come back again? Just so everyone knows, Ricardo's with the Parks Department.
I think what he was going to say was that I'm doing a great job.
Michael, you always do a great job.
No, I'd be happy to have Ricardo explain if he knows more details about the phase 3 project.
Okay, does anyone else have any comments or questions? Okay, why don't we hold this for a minute, and Felice, you want to do the short art presentation while we're waiting to see if Ricardo gets back on?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Judy. So the Parks Department was not able to attend and present on some of the artwork that will be taking place or being installed on the Park Avenue Mall. So they sent us the information that we could present on their behalf. Kevin, are you able to share the photos?
Yes.
Okay.
One second.
So while Kevin is about to put that up, this is a proposal for a temporary installation on Park Avenue between East 81st and East 83rd Streets. The artist is Betsy Romero, and it is supported by several organizations, including ones that I can't pronounce, so we'll put those online so I don't totally muck up their names, but and that included as well the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art in Kansas City. The artwork will be up between March 2024 and October of this year. Betsy Romero is a renowned Mexican artist whose artistic practice is centered around carved tires, refashioned cars, painted hoods, incised mirrors, and paper mache. Each tire is hand-painted with pre-Columbian objects such as textiles and carved stone monuments. Each tire is hand-painted with gold or silver leaf or both. The intricate designs on the tires are based on iconographical motifs from diverse sources in pre-Columbian art. The tires have multiple entry points, including materiality, handcraft industrial production, such as cars, trucks, and rubber, modern technology, labor, movement, indigenous symbols, anthropology, and gender. Each artwork will be attached to a base that will sit on the ground and counterweighted with sandbags for additional stability. As required, the artist will submit signed and sealed engineering drawings for review by the MTA Metro North engineering team to avoid any negative impact on the train shed below. So Kevin, are you able to show the
Well,
pictures?
Please, I don't think I received any.
Judy, can you forward it to Kevin so we could share the photos?
Did I get pictures?
I believe you did, but I will, yeah, it was, Melissa sent them over. Let's see. Okay, let me forward this to you. Not forward to myself. Okay, Kevin, I just sent it over. Let me know if you received it.
Mhm.
Kevin, did you get it?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Okay. Okay, thanks. So you can see they'll be installed on Park Avenue. It shows the location at 81st, 82nd on both sides of the street at 82nd, and then at 83rd on both sides of the street. And you can show the photos. So this is the first one. This will be on Park Avenue and East 81st Street. It's approximately 650 pounds. It's 8 feet high and 4 feet wide. And this is called On the Other Side of the Track. It is tires incised and painted with gold leaf and wood. The next one. This one is called Moon Seal. It'll be installed at Park Avenue and East 82nd Street on the south side. It is tractor tires engraved and painted with gold leaf wood. And this is almost 5 feet high by 5 feet wide in the sculpture, and the base is 1 foot high by 8 feet wide. The next one will be installed on the north side of Park Avenue at East 82nd Street. This is called Warriors in Captivity 3. It is a tractor tire incised and painted with gold leaf and wood. It is 8 feet 3 inches high by 5 feet 7 inches wide, and it is 2 feet deep. And it weighs approximately 1,600 pounds. And the next one will be installed on Park Avenue and East 83rd Street on the south side of the intersection. It's titled Warriors in Captivity. It is a tractor tire incised and painted with gold leaf and wood. And this is 6 feet 3 inches high by 4 feet 4 inches wide, and weighs approximately 400 pounds. So these look like they will be, oh, and I think there's one more. Yes, and this one on the north side of East 83rd Street is titled Rubber and Feathered Snakes. It's a tractor tire incised and painted with gold leaf, wood, and metal. And this is 8 feet high by 5 feet wide, and weighs approximately 1,600 pounds. So these look pretty interesting, and it looks like we should have some really beautiful artwork on this side of Park Avenue. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you to the Parks Department.
Okay, if there are no comments, I think we'll go on to our parks managers, and the first
I
one.
see that Ricardo is back, so Ricardo,
Okay, Ricardo, are you with us, and do we have sound? I see your picture.
No, we can't hear you, Ricardo.
Yeah.
Maybe you can call in when you sign in. There's a phone number and a meeting ID. You can call in, maybe try it that way.
Ricardo, can you call in to Kevin?
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do, it looks like.
Oh, chat. Okay, he'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Ricardo says, sorry for the sound snafu. Was going to note that the repairs to correct the Esplanade sinkholes include patching and filling holes in the relieving platforms, resetting and regrouting veneer stones along the waterfront, replacement of damaged and missing expansion joints, which caused many of the sinkholes, and replacing the deteriorated or missing seats where combined outflow pipes cut through the substructure of the esplanade.
Okay, thank you, Ricardo. We're sorry that you had that problem. Okay, is there anything else? Anyone have any questions for the hospital for special surgery? Well, thank you all very much for coming. We appreciate your presentation, and just let us know when you're ready to come back with your next update on both the hospital and the Esplanade. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Melissa. Have a good night. Okay,
Thank
now we'll move on to our district manager, Sheena Kaufman for District 8 to give us, Sheena, you're sideways. I don't know why, but you're sideways.
I know. I can't.
Now you're
Our
upside
phones,
down.
our phones are just so messed up. Our computers are not working. I'm on my laptop. I can't get in. So, and then the phone is just messed up. It just won't turn.
Okay,
All right.
whatever. Give us your report. Oh, and Therese
Okay.
is here too. Go right ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you some updates. St. Catherine's is the design is probably 90%, 95% completed. So by April, we hope to be able to present to the board on April for St. Catherine's. Still no word on the rubric. We still waiting for for the rubric problem. John Jay is still in progress. The pool deck. Hopefully by spring we'll be starting the MPPA area. And John Jay, of course, we've been having some problems with people illegally parking in front and people disobeying the sign. So we gave 2 summonses in February to 2 park patrons. Other than that, I don't have any. Oh, Stanley Isaac. So we opened up Stanley Isaac, the skating ring, on February 1st. We had a grand opening. And it went very well. And people are using the new facility. And hopefully, come fall and winter, we get more usage out of it. And we were able to keep the bathrooms open all year long. We were able to install some heaters and throughout the whole building. And we were able to keep it, the bathrooms open all year now. Prior years we were closing them in the winter time, but now they're open. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Thanks, Sheena. We do have 2 hands up. I wanted to ask one question because I was a little unclear. You said the pool deck area on John Jay Park is still in progress,
Yes,
and you'll start the multipurpose play area when, in the spring?
in the spring, as soon as it gets warm. We have to wait till the temperature gets a little warmer. I know spring is going to start next week, but the temperature is going to probably be in the 30s. We probably have to wait till it get, in the 50s to start anything, because a lot of that is just the groundwork. It's the floor, repaving of the ground. So we have to wait till the temperature reaches a certain level, so that once we put the the blacktop down, it occur fast.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Judy, I see Boaz has a hand up, but if you want to go ahead.
No, Boaz, go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. First question to Sheena. What is the latest regarding Rupert Park?
We have no update from the last meeting. We're still waiting for clearance through legal. So we have no update. We're still waiting. Trust me, I ask every week.
Okay, no, I'm not
We own
I'm
it.
not putting the blame on you, but you know, eventually I have like people are asking me, and I'm sure that Rita here, she's one of our representative of the building. She knows that we have a lot of families here. So yeah, okay. So this is your my next question for families with toddlers around 92 and Second, that right now Rupert Park is not relevant to them. What is their alternative park that they should go?
Well, you have Samuel Seabury on
Okay.
96th Street.
Okay.
We also have Stanley Isaac on 96th Street in First, and Seabury's on 96th Street and Lexington. If you're talking about the District 8 area, those are the two closest parks. And then you have Carl Schultz on 84th.
So I usually, and many people in my building, Rita building as well, usually go to Catbeard. I don't know if that's but what I notice is that now it's becoming overflow with families. Like 2 weeks ago, it was summer, it was flooded with families. And when talking with families around, one of the problems is because families that are supposed to go to Rupert Park are going to that park. So it's become, you know, it's become an issue. So, okay, so first of all, thank you very much on the alternative parks. Now, I have basically a question to Judy and to Rita. So Rupert Park from Community Board 8, what can we do? Is it we need to escalate it? What is our option? And it's okay if we don't have any option, but you know, I noticed, for example, I want to give you the context, congestion pricing. Congestion pricing, you know, Community Board 8 said we are taking this as like a hot issue. And there is a lot of noise from Community Board 8. I know Valerie is involved. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if the Community Board 8 chair is involved in Rupert Park, but it's a big deal for families with toddlers here in the area. I'm not putting pressure, or I think that Sheena and her team and all of the people involved, they are doing an amazing job. But eventually, I know, Judith, you are an amazing person. Rita is an amazing person. What can we do? And how can I help? Tell me, do I need to go apartment by apartment and sign it, getting a signature?
No, Boaz, that's not the problem. The problem, and Therese, correct me if I'm wrong, the problem is that when you're doing a project like this, there are a lot of steps that the project has to go through city agencies, and you have to get approvals, and there's the legal department. There are all kinds of steps that they have to take before they can actually start construction, which is why I was surprised at the last thing that we heard, that Michael Bradley said they were going to start on the Esplanade so quickly, because it takes a long time once they get a bid to actually issue the bid. And it isn't because Felice and myself have not been calling the Parks Department every week to follow up on this project.
I get it.
Julie,
I feel like you think that I'm like blaming some. I'm not blaming anyone.
No, you're not blaming anyone.
Because if I understand between the lines, and maybe it's because I'm not a native English. I don't know. Maybe it's the language barrier. But from what I understand between the lines, there is some kind of a document that is somewhere in one of the office. And it's not that there are like architects, people are sitting in an office, filling up diagrams, thinking about, there is a form that needs to get a signature, and it's stuck, and we need to, I don't know, to call the person to get
So
Boaz,
Boaz,
I'm sorry to say the city just doesn't work that way. There are a lot of different agencies that a project has to go through to get approval before it can start construction. And that's the problem with getting most construction projects done here in the city and why it takes so long.
And-
And we are following it up on a weekly.
But if I can-
last question, then I will let you.
No,
Last question. So can you, in a very simple word, can you tell me what's the next step? Who are we waiting for? Is it like senior manager of the parks, Mr. Important to sign what's the next step, micro step in the workflow that right now we are waiting for? Do we know that?
So perfect. Therese, where are we?
Well,
We-
if
we're
you
waiting.
need to know exactly what's involved and at what stage we're at, and there's what we have is called the capital tracker, and that's something you find on our website. And I can also get more inside detail as to what's taking it so long. But to be honest, a lot of things take so long because it's a process, design and making sure everything's set and we're going to get what we pay for and we have the right person doing the job. All of those things are part of the process. So it's not something you can rush. It's not something
I
you
get
should
it,
rush.
but the question is it stuck because someone is right now, tomorrow, Friday, wake up at 8 a.m.,
No,
it's
just it's a process. It just
or
takes
the
time.
document is, or the person that
It's
is
not
supposed
just
to do
paper.
something,
So
that's supposed to do something with the paper right now is working on other parts. I'm just, that's my frustration. I understand it can take years. I understand how
But we can get you more
involved.
details. It's not
Okay,
that
perfect.
I know it's frustrating, so I can get more details and see what I can share.
I'm just curious
Yeah.
where it's stuck. I mean, stuck because you guys are working on other parks, other projects.
So
it's stuck.
I think part of the problem is the perception is that it's sitting on someone's desk and it's waiting for someone to just initial it. And once it's initialed, it can be moved on. And it's my understanding that it's actually a little bit more complex than that, and that the city needs a stormwater pollution prevention plan. And the time period to get that and the approval process for that is part of what is taking time. I believe this is a priority for the capital folks at the Parks Department. But if you could get back to us, Therese, with just more specifics so we understand the process and where it's stuck and kind of why it's taking so long. I will
Absolutely.
say that, and I think Steve Simon reported on this at the last meeting, that the restroom portion of the project is out to bid. That they're seeking a statement of qualifications from bidders to do the restroom at Rupert Park and at several other parks across the city, and they're doing a design build to accelerate the process. And while it's not as fast as we would like, it is moving along, and getting the restrooms installed is a critical portion of the project and doesn't necessarily need to happen after the landscaping work is completed. So I think there is movement. It's not as apparent. It does feel like it's moving at a glacial pace. But the more information we can have to better understand that would be helpful.
Absolutely.
And police, since you brought up the restrooms, Boaz, before you ask, they have 6 restrooms around the city in this project that are being bid. We don't know if ours is going to be the first or the 6th that's going to be built. Let's say it's the first. And if it is the first, it's going to be at least 3 years before we see the restroom. That's what we've been told. So these things do have a very long waiting period. So I don't want to get your hopes up that the park will get done and then there'll be no restrooms, because that's exactly what's going to happen. The restrooms are going to take a lot longer. Therese, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, you said it beautifully, and it is a big process, and we have to do it right, and it takes that much time because of all the steps.
And I'm not sure, but I think that Steve may have told me, and I may have this confused with another project, that at the moment it's in the legal department.
Yeah, that's what I said. I stated that it's in the legal.
Legal department,
it's
and when
closed.
something is in the legal department, it takes a very long time to get it out of the legal department. I don't know why, but it just does.
I can get more details on that.
Okay, thank you, Therese. We appreciate it. Let's go on to Cheryl, has her hand raised.
Sorry, Judy, before Cheryl, there's Phyllis.
Okay, Phyllis.
Greetings, everyone. Hi.
Good evening.
So I'm a USA Pickleball ambassador, so you know it's always pickleball about when I have something to ask. So one of the things we've noticed is Riverside Park has had permanent nets, and we're wondering if we can get permanent nets at Carl Shores, because that would alleviate a lot of issues for us, and that has gone over really well at Riverside. I also do have a few other questions, but that would be my first question, if that's possible.
Well, when we do the MPPA area over again, that's when we're going to install the permanent netting. At this present time, we're not putting in any permanent netting in it at this present time.
Okay.
That's to my understanding on how this is supposed to work. Things could change. Things could change, but that's the idea. The once we do the area over.
Okay. Since you brought it up, Sheena, thank you for doing so. What is our timeline on that and the money that Julie Menon was able to raise for us?
I don't have a timeline for that now. We because it's not a full, it's a capital project, but it's not it doesn't have to go through so much. I have to get you the amount of money that was allocated for this project, because I mentioned it on a couple of
I think it's 1.4 million, but I could
you could be right, but if I have to look back at my notes. I don't have that with me at this present time. But it was a substantial amount of money to be able to do it over. But I don't want to once we come up, we're going to come to the board, we're going to present, and then, changes will be able to be made then. I don't know if it's going to be permanent netting, but that's the goal. That's the goal. That's, what we also have, including the basketball court. So we're going to do the entire area over.
Right.
The entire MPPA area. So it include pickleball. Pickleball is going to be included in this. It's going to be 3 pickleball areas.
Okay. And my next question has to do with 96 and First, where the handball courts are. And what is the chance we could get some more pickleball courts over there? And especially since we're going to need a place to play when Carl Shores Park does undergo its renovations, it would be really helpful if we could get some pickleball courts over there. The handball courts don't seem to be as much in use anymore. Is there a way we can take a look at doing something there?
I'm definitely open to that. Because they have so many handball courts at Stanley Isaac. I wouldn't mind allocating a few, one side to pickleball. I just don't want people to go there and use it all up, and then we bump into some problems like I'm having now at St. Barton's.
Right. I hear you.
So we have to have a good understanding that the entire site cannot be pickleball.
So do we have signage, maybe? Signage, hi, Therese.
I'm willing to share it because we do understand. We do understand once it goes under, you would like to have somewhere else to play. So I don't mind giving up 96th Street to do it because it's probably one of the better sites to do, right? But I just we just want people to be fair and not take over the entire site and
I'm with you.
disregard the handball court for someone that wants to play handball, even though they're not playing as they often do in the from the past. And we do have to remember too, we have basketball as well there, and not to, infringe on the basketball courts. So I'm definitely open to it. I think it's a great idea to put pickleball there as well.
Yeah, we have to check the surface because pickleball is a little bit of a different game. So let's check it too before we even consider it, because you really want to have a very smooth surface, and it's a lot of work to maintain something that might not be top notch for pickleball. So let's look at it first.
Okay,
So
thank you, everyone.
Therese and Sheena, could you check that out and report back next month to us on that? And then maybe we can pass a resolution or write a letter to the parks asking them to look into perhaps making a change at that site. Okay.
Great.
Okay, I think the next hand was Cheryl.
Hi, thanks so much. Going back to John Jay, with the multipurpose area, I was just wondering, it's a pie in the sky dream, but if there's any chance you could start the work more towards the end of June, because as you know, after school, that playground is packed with kids. Packed.
Unfortunately, we cannot. This is something that it's already has already been mapped out, and the funding is already allocated for this period of time for the contractors. The contractors that are doing the pool deck is the same contractor that will be doing the multi-purpose area. So although I do understand the situation with the school, it's just a minor inconvenience for a lovely area that we're going to have. And we were able to get this funding to be able to do so. And I don't want to delay it and then something else comes about. Like we already have it on track. And I just don't want to do that. And then everybody start screaming if something doesn't go the way like they do. So it's just a minor inconvenience. If the school would like to use Paul Schultz for a little while, that's fine. But let's just make sure we don't have no interruptions with it.
And then the last time we spoke, you spoke about doing it in intervals, yes? Like closing off part of it and working on it and then doing another part?
They're definitely gonna try. But what we have done is a big area, and we want to make sure that the area is evenly done and not, in some patchwork. So
Sure.
we just want to make sure that the money is spent well, and that we get a good, we get good quality, good quality work. And sometimes it just takes a minor inconvenience.
So how long do you
for this to happen?
In the perfect scenario, how long do you suspect it to be closed for?
I would say a month, but it could be shorter, right? It can be shorter, but I would give it a month or so.
It's all asphalt, right?
Yes, it's all asphalt.
Yeah. So sometimes it needs to cure depending on the depth, so we can find that out.
And
I just want to make sure that we don't rush this and then we wind up coming back and we have more problems. So we just ask for a minor inconvenience for, so we can be able to, have a quality work done.
And can you give the community any kind of heads up, like 2 weeks before you start, or?
We will. As soon as we find out the exact date, I'll let the community board know, and we'll post signs.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is Richard M.
Hi, how are you? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thanks. It's regarding the cultures renovation with the pickleball and basketball. There was proposal of 4 courts there. Is that still on the table?
No, the proposal was 3 courts. It was never 4 courts.
It was never 4.
You folks or the pickleball folks have asked for a 4th court.
Okay,
Proposal is for 3 courts.
so, and
That's-
that's
That-
decided, or is there some,
Well, that's what Parks has approved. We've asked them if they could put the courts closer together and possibly put in a 4th court, but I haven't heard anything
okay,
back
Let
positive
me,
on that request.
and
Oh.
let me say something towards that. Right. It was very hard to get the 3 pickleball courts there. Very difficult because we got a lot of pushback. I don't want to include a 4th court because then we'll be taken away from the kids that want to come and ride their bicycles, do their skating, yada, yada, yada. We still have families there that want to use that area. And I don't want to infringe on the little space that they have to do that, because then you got the basketball court next to it, and then basketball comes into play. So I don't want to do that and alienate anyone else, because we all know there's several people that were totally against pickleball, and they were very strong, with their language and their writing. And we just don't want to agitate this situation anymore. Me and Teresa is going to look at 96th Street as another area when this closes down, and possibly maybe we can use this area even afterwards to give people more chances to play pickleball if they don't mind walking down to 96th Street. We just don't want to aggravate the rest of the community and have them feel like pickleball is taking over the whole entire area, because that's what it would have become, come to. We want to
just one
we
more
want to be
thing on
fair.
that note, we actually have drawings where it would only take about 14% more surface area than it currently uses to put in 4. That's
Richard?
all. I mean, just so
We
you
just
know.
don't want to do that. We don't want to do that to the rest of the people that's
Okay.
just got used to it being 3. And then if we add another one, we're gonna probably have nothing but problems and so much pushback that they probably wind up destroying the courts that are already there. And we just don't want to do that. It's
Okay.
unfair.
Richard, we've given this request to Parks. It's been discussed thoroughly. So if they can't do it, they can't do it. But you'll have 3 courts that you didn't have before, and they'll be very nice. And I think people should be very happy with that. Okay, let's move on to
Okay, thank you.
Mary Chan.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for having the meeting. My question is for Tina of John Jay Park. And I just wanted to know, when they're going to resurface, are they also going to check the drainage system? Because when there's heavy waterfall, rains, or heavy snow, there's just a pool of water that just collects into the middle area.
So we did speak about that when we were, mapping out this area. So that's going to be checked as well. We did speak about it because I noticed it prior to that. So that was brought up.
Okay. And what about the tennis court area? Are you going to fix that up also with all the veins running around?
The entire area is going to be resurfaced.
Okay.
But we can't name it a tennis court area. We're going to keep the same policy as we have now, but
Yes.
It's a multi-purpose area that's utilized for different divisions, right?
Okay.
So we're
But
going to
you
try to, we're going to keep it the way it is, and we're going to try to, like we spoke in the past, try to put an area over for pickleball so that the people that want to play pickleball in the handball court area will be able to, and they won't interfere with the tennis.
Okay.
So hopefully that's the idea.
Okay. Now, when they're doing the resurfacing of the area, what about the wire fences all around the park?
What do
Is
you
the
mean the
budget
wire fence?
allocated to do the metal fences that they go all around the park?
Unfortunately, that wasn't in the budget. That takes a lot more money to do. You're talking about the chain link fence that surrounded it.
Yeah.
Whatever within parks we can be able to do, we would try to do. But this money is only to resurface the entire multi-purpose area. Because there is a lot of issues, and you know, with the drainage and with the surface itself. We were definitely fortunate to be able to get this money, so we're gonna take it and do with it, and then look for something else if we can find any funding to do the fencing over. But we're gonna make a ramp, a ADA ramp going up, you know,
Nice.
so that, because as you know that both sides have steps, so we're gonna
Yes.
make one area for ADA accessibility. So we're going to do, you know, that's a part of that funding as well.
And the
So
water
we
fountain
can look
too?
into it. Huh?
And the water fountain also?
We have a water fountain right outside. It's right outside the area. It's brand new.
Oh, okay, because there's one inside. I didn't know if they were gonna check on the plumbing there.
I don't think the drinking fountain is a part of it, but I can ask. I can always ask.
Okay.
But we do have a brand new fountain right outside the second
Yeah.
steps closer to the bathroom.
Yeah, by the pool area entrance.
Correct.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Christina, can you just clarify when we're talking about right now there's a tennis net in the multipurpose play area, and I think it's marked out for tennis. Will that will be reinstalled, right? Or
So the
marked?
tennis nets, they go up and they come down, right? It's not a tennis area. We can't label it as a tennis area. It's a multi-purpose. With tennis comes a lot of restrictions, right? It comes with a lot more in detail. And for us to be able to do that, then we can't call it a multi-purpose area. We have to call it a tennis area. And then comes with a lot more restrictions, a lot more rules, and a little more funding to be able to fund it. And we don't want to really kind of go there, because if we do, then it's going to restrict the rest of the area, and then it's going to cause for additional funding that we just don't have.
Isn't there a tennis net there now?
Yes, they take it up and they take it down. They put it up and they put it down every day.
Okay. And is it striped for a tennis court area?
It's not so much striped, but it's striped, right? The people that play tennis know exactly where it goes in the area. They keep their nets and stuff in the corner area, and we probably try to do something better for them, you know, to keep it more secure. But we can't label
and would
it.
you mark out the size of the tennis court?
They're gonna probably do something. I don't, Therese, you might can help me with this. I think they can't do that because it gets a little more in detail, saying that it's a tennis court, and with tennis courts is a little more in depth.
Yeah, so tennis courts, you have to have somebody there to do a sign-up sheet, because that often gets very popular, and it's something that once you've set it up, it kind of designates the use of that area, and it doesn't allow the kids to come in after school. It starts taking up a lot of the purpose of the area, which is for the whole community. And so it starts to, it doesn't allow us to be flexible for the community for events either. So we really need to have that area to be flexible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Rita has been exceedingly patient and had her hand up. So Rita, what do you have for us?
I know how long it takes to do Rupert Park, because it took that long to raise the money. But there are 2 wooden chairs, different styled. They're junk. So, and there's a bar stool, a wooden bar stool, and now there is and I'm sorry I didn't have my camera with my phone with me, but there is now a fiberglass and metal chair, and it was knocked over. It's right against the Second Avenue. It makes us look like it's a garbage dump.
Yeah, the parks are getting that a lot. We're getting a lot of dumping, and we'll get somebody on it. Right, we have somebody in this evening, right, Sheena? Or
I'm going to I put the notice up prior, because we did take the last time they did the setup. right? And respectfully, I did put benches in there as they requested. And becomes a problem when you extend your hand out to people and you give them exactly what they ask for, and then they take advantage of a situation. I removed it last month because they brought all sorts of chairs in there because I did receive a complaint from the community to 311. And I had the staff remove it. Plus, I put up signs. The signs are no longer there. I will put up signs again, and I will have them removed.
Is this
What
the
is happening?
is this the dog run we're talking about?
Yes,
Dog run.
inside the dog run.
And it sets a tone, and
You're right. You're correct. I will address it again. Unfortunately, we just don't have it. Right at this present time, we can't have nobody stationed there. And once the park is done over, then we'll have someone stationed. But the request, if they need another bench, just say that. But don't just bring, violate us like this by putting all these other things in there that doesn't belong. We were very, very helpful in bringing benches and giving them exactly what they want, moving the dog run from one area to another, helping them with wood chips and things like that, and putting fencing in it and everything they requested. And now we have this problem again with them bringing in other benches and the other chairs and things that it's not, it's not allowed. And if someone gets hurt, we have a big problem.
we make it that only park furniture is allowed in there, because sets a tone now. When we get a beautiful dog run, people still think that this is what they can do. And it just, it's on Second Avenue,
Right.
and it really makes it look shabby. Or
I'll have my staff address it.
And I
Thank you,
think the
Tina.
signs would be a big help. Parks furniture only.
Can we get somebody from the Parks Department who has a truck, who'll come and take those?
Yeah.
That would help.
We'll do it.
Well, that would
We
help.
will.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
Very-
Okay. Before we take any more questions from the public or the board, Robert McLean has been waiting very patiently to give us an update on the Esplanade, which is District 15. It's now separate from District 8. Robert, do you have anything to tell us tonight?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I was nodding off, but I was watching. Sita's the only person I know that she could act like that looks perfectly normal. So totally attentive. And I have some good news for you. We have arranged to have EDC install lighting at the roundabout sculpture on the upper level of the Andrew Haswell Green Park. So they're going to start doing electrical work on March 25th, and the whole project will take about a month, and half of the area will be closed for 2 weeks at a time. And we wanted to light up the sculpture at night for a long time, and now we'll finally be able to do so. So many more people will be able to see and appreciate this unique sculpture. So that's all I have today to talk about that. And then any subsequent questions regarding the Esplanade, Michael will take care of that, yeah?
Okay. Now when you say you're lighting up the sculpture, so will there be any down lighting for people who are sitting at the benches or walking or whatever? Is all the lighting going up towards the sculpture?
I think most of the lighting is going to be illuminate the sculpture, but there's going to be, light that's going to bleed down anyway, because these are probably spotlights, so they're probably very powerful.
Okay. And when do you think you'll start this work?
25th of March, around the corner.
Oh, that's terrific.
No, that is terrific. I must say this was the best day I've had at parks, and I'm saying this on the Bible. You have no idea what I went through today. You have no idea.
Okay,
Everything
well.
worked. Everything worked.
Okay, well, that's terrific. We've been asking for lighting there, so that's just wonderful. We're happy to hear this. Um, have you worked with Phyllis Cone at all about this? Is the
No,
funding coming from her to do the
no,
lighting?
I have
No,
not.
it's Parks funding.
I'm not sure. GDC, I think, is putting together, but I'm not positive.
I'm
That's
sorry, I didn't hear you. Who?
EDC, I believe.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, thank you. That's very good news and was worth waiting for. All right. Do we have any more questions from the public or from the board members?
Mary Chan still has her hand up.
Mary?
Might be from before.
Hi, that was from before.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
All right.
Can I mention one thing before we break?
Sure. Go right ahead.
Our commissioner asked us to mention this at all the community board meetings, and I specifically attended just to see if I could mention it. There's an initiative to deal with loneliness across the nation and in New York City. And it is called Let's Green NYC. It is inviting our neighbors out to volunteer in parks. And Parks is working with the community to create more opportunities by listing them on our website as our partners who volunteer. So Let's Green NYC allows us to promote volunteers for all organizations and friends groups for parks. And it's a really wonderful website. I just posted it on the chat. I don't know if anybody else can see it, but the website will actually talk you through all of the options for volunteering, getting involved in your community, and participating in Shape Up and all of these wonderful organizations that have come about to get people out for free to enjoy parks and get to know other people in their neighborhood.
Great, thank you.
Next, Jill Appel.
Yes, I have a question. Is there any update on repairs to the Esplanade between 60th and 62nd?
60th and 62nd. That's
or whatever,
the new
61st,
piece.
between the pedestrian ramp and I'm not sure what the exact address is, 61st. But I understood there is a plan to repair the Esplanade at the north end of the park.
Jill, are you talking about at the water level, or are you talking about the ramp that you come up 60th Street and then go down the ramp?
Oh, not the 60th Street. No, I'm talking about the higher end. We're not sure. If someone could just tell us what the next step in the repairs to the Esplanade are, that would be very helpful.
Are you talking about where the dog run and where you're planting?
Yes.
The gardening. Oh, so you're talking further up. You're talking
that's
more
north.
between
Yes.
62nd and 63rd.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right.
And
Yeah.
are there holes there in the Esplanade?
Well, my understanding, Judy, from when we spoke a few weeks ago, was that there were some repairs planned to that area, to the understructure, that there was a whole nother phase.
Oh, well, oh, yes. Okay. Then what you're talking about, and I did mention this at the last meeting, under the former sanitation building where the pavilion is that we just heard is going to have this wonderful lighting. Underneath that building, the piling work, which is going to take about 2 years, they have to fix or replace the piling. And EDC is doing that work. The contract has been let for that. Whether they've started it or not, I don't know. But I'll try and get a date for you. I haven't.
Okay.
I actually put a call into EDC today, but I never got a call back.
Okay,
But
thanks. So
I'll ask for a date and what the timing is on the repair of the pilings.
So aside from that, near that overpass or whatever it is, underpass, there are no plans to work on the Esplanade. Is that correct?
Not at this time, there aren't.
Okay.
Okay, I think the next thing that we're trying to do, and Felice and myself have put together a draft letter and given it to the chair of the community board to go to the mayor asking for funding to fund that last phase of Andrew Haswell Green Phase 3. I don't know whether, Kevin, maybe you could follow that up for us and let us know where that is and whether the letter has gone out to the mayor or not.
And the last phase is what you just mentioned, that
Yes.
underpass area.
The
Okay.
underneath area, right?
Okay.
Okay. Jill Bauer, we haven't heard from you yet.
Hi, Judy and all. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. I had a question for Robert. Robert, I'm one of Green Park Gardeners. We haven't met, but I wanted to say thanks for your support, all the support you've given us since you came in. I had a question about the lighting up on the Alice Aycock Pavilion of the artwork. And the timing for it. So it will start March 25th, which is great. And will the whole pavilion be closed during the construction?
No, one half will be closed for 2 weeks, and at the completion of that half, then the other half will start the construction. So half of it will always be open.
Okay, great. So half, like the lawn and the garden area, will be closed, and then the other part will be closed, like, and then the walkways. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Which is being closed first? Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Sorry, I'm not trying to stump you. That's fine if you don't know.
Okay.
But it'll be on the 25th, basically for a month, and half 2 weeks, and then the other half 2 weeks.
That's correct.
Great. Thanks very much. That's all I had.
Okay. Cheryl again?
Hi, this is Neil. I have a quick question for Sheena.
I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Sheena, I'm one of the avid tennis players over at John Jay Park. I just wanted to clarify, will the lines for the tennis court be reapplied after the resurfacing is done?
We can ask. I can ask.
Okay, would appreciate it, because we really love to play tennis over there, and we do need the lines to be able to do that.
Okay. Come back next month and get your answer. Okay, is there anyone else who has any questions or? Okay, then do we have a motion to adjourn? Okay, Rita makes a motion to adjourn. I'll second. And thank you all, and we hope to see you next month, which is April. And have a nice month.
Thanks, everyone, and
Good
thanks,
night.
Judy.
Bye.